Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I thought I'd do kind of like a quick slash overview of university in New Zealand, and yeah, just talk a little bit more about it if you guys are interested in coming here to study, or maybe you are gonna start uni soon. So yeah, let's just get started. So I have notes on my phone as always, which is why I'm looking down. So currently there are 8 universities in New Zealand. I will include a list here. And there's also polytechnics, which you can study and get like a bachelor's degree. And normally in New Zealand you start uni at 17 or 18 after you finish high school. Obviously you can start later on, you know, a lot of people are older, but that's kind of like the normal age for people to start uni. You can study full-time or part-time, and most students also have a part-time job as well, so that's pretty common here. Normally a degree is gonna last 3 years, and a more specialized degree such as engineering or law is going to be 4 years. And obviously if you study medicine, that will take like 6 or 7 years depending on which path you take. You can also do a conjoint degree, so this is kind of like 2 degrees in one, but it usually takes less time than studying 2 separate degrees. So for example, if you do a business and a law conjoint, that's going to be 5 years, but if you study a business degree, that's 3 years, and then a separate law degree, that's 4 years. So you basically save 2 years by doing a conjoint. You can also do an honours year after you finish your degree. So for example, for me, I studied business, so I could do a 4th like postgraduate year, which would be honours, but that's not very common. Normally people go straight into a part-time job. Like, it's not very common to do a master's or even an internship. People just go straight into a full-time graduate role. University degrees here aren't actually super common, so I did some research, and according to this website, 40% of adults have a degree, so that means less than half. So yeah, majority of people didn't go to uni. I feel like that is changing nowadays though. It is definitely more expected, especially if you are like Asian or kind of like immigrant background. It is pretty much expected. However, it's also very common for like males especially to go into a trade. So for example, training to be a builder or a plumber or an electrician, that's also a very common and accepted trade, and a pretty good career as well. University school year normally starts about late February or early March, depending on what school you go to. And for the most part, the year is broken into 2 separate semesters, except for Victoria. I'm pretty sure they do trimesters. But yeah, for the most part, you'll have 2 semesters, and they're about 4 months long each. So semester 1 goes from, like I said before, late February, early March to about end of June, and during each semester you'll have a 2-week break in the middle of the semester, and then after the first semester there's another 3-week break, and then you have semester 2. So the school year ends at about early November, so that's just before summer, and yeah, you basically have a 3-month holiday, which is pretty good. Normally during a semester you take 4 papers, so that's a full-time workload, and each paper is worth 15 points. So in a semester you'd be doing 60 points, so that means for a 3-year degree you will need 360 points. Again, it varies a lot on what you study, but for business, for example, you normally choose a major and a minor, or you can choose to double major. Unlike in America, where I think you can go in like undeclared, which basically means you can just study whatever you want and then decide on your major. Normally in New Zealand you would choose at least like a broad kind of subject, so whether it be arts, science, business, you'll choose kind of like a broad subject range, and then after your first year, that's when you choose your major. Again, it really depends, but for me, I only have about 1 semester of compulsory classes, and then for the rest of my papers I can basically do whatever I want, of course relating to my major and my minor. But yeah, you do have quite a wide choice in which class and which papers that you take. Normally you also have elective papers outside of what your main focus is, so you can take other things that interest you. In terms of contact hours, I have 12 contact class hours a week, well at least when I did go to uni. Now everything's online. So I had uni 3 days a week, and each class was about 3 hours, so that was 12 contact hours. I know for my brother, he does engineering, so he has about 16 contact hours a week, and he went 5 days a week, so it really depends on what you're studying and your course. But yeah, it ranges anywhere from about 12 to maybe 16, maybe more than that. In terms of the application process, it's pretty easy. It's pretty much all done online. Because New Zealand universities don't really have like an upper limit of students, it's not super competitive to get into, you know, like the first year of uni. There's no like writing essays or personal statements or any of that. Essentially your entry is going to be based on your rank score, which is taken from your grades in high school. So basically if you get a certain rank score, then you get into the degree. However, if you are doing a more competitive degree, for example law or medicine, normally after your first year, that's when they start like cutting people off, so you have to do extra tests and exams and interviews and reapply to get into your second year. I will insert a grade map here, but basically grades run from an A+ to a D, and you need about 50% to pass a course. You can hand in assignments late, but for every day that you hand in late, you will lose 10%. In terms of extracurriculars, we definitely do have extracurriculars. Depending on your university, things, you know, may be more common, for example sports, cultural clubs, societies, things like that. However, for me personally, I would not say they're a massive part of uni life. Like most people I know, they aren't really heavily involved in anything. In terms of student life, again, it really depends on your university and which city you live in. For example, like the city of Auckland is very much a commuter city, so most students still live at home like with their parents and they will commute to university, whereas somewhere like Otago, it's a very small town, but it's got like a really big university, so a really high student population. You know, you've got lots of things going on, like parties pretty much every weekend. And with the cost, a typical year of full-time fees is going to be about 6,500 to 7,000 New Zealand dollars. That's for domestic students. And recently they made a law where the first year of university is actually free, so that's really good as well. You can also get a student loan, so that basically means you don't have to pay your fees at all until I think you start making a certain amount of money after you graduate. And yeah, that's basically interest-free throughout your whole university time. You can also get living costs, so you can borrow up to like, I think it's like $230 a week or something like that to support you while you study. And some people are also eligible for a student allowance, so that's literally like $200 every week of free money, just because you're a student. And yeah, basically it's based on, I think, your parents' income and like whether you're living at home and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty great as well. So for halls of accommodation and like accommodation at university, I don't have a lot of personal experience, but I know most schools do offer it. So normally it's going to cost you about $250 to $300 per week, depending on whether, you know, you want it to be catered and the quality of the room and whether you're sharing and things like that. If you are an international student and you're watching this and you maybe want to come here to like study abroad or do your whole degree here, I would say it's definitely quite popular. Like, I don't know if I would recommend coming to Auckland just because it isn't like super great for like student life, but at the same time there are a lot of, you know, jobs and opportunities here, and there are a lot of international students here, so it's probably pretty easy to like find your, you know, community of people. And it is a very diverse city, so, you know, I don't think that you'll feel super out of place if you are studying abroad in Auckland. In terms of the price and the quality of education, I feel like it's decent. I mean, we could definitely do better. Like, our universities aren't necessarily kind of known to be like world class, but I think if you're looking for a more kind of chill pace of life, maybe you love nature and you just want to do some traveling, it could definitely be a great option. I'm pretty sure you can also like work part-time as well, so you can support yourself there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys have found it helpful. If you have any additional questions, feel free to write them down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.